Hi, everybody. Believe it or not, it's episode 16 of the Holistic Health Happy Hour. And we are going to talk about our full moon in Pisces with the axis of the sun just ingressing into Virgo. And we've got a little bit of a different opinion about the eclipse. We'll bring that up. But I'm Julie Sherwood, your Best Hopes Wellness Coaching. And how I bring wellness into the picture is I do solution focused wellness coaching. We orient towards solutions. And some ways we do that is look at your chart, your stars. What is the energy potential that you have to put your life on a path of solution, a path of fulfillment, a path of purpose? I also do root cause therapy. We can talk about that as ways to move the things out of your way to realize your true energy potential. So that's me, Your Best Hopes Wellness Coaching, or yourbesthopeswc.com. And my lovely co-hostess will introduce herself.
I am Maria Schumacher, also known as Vian. I have a website called Venus-13, and I put up a daily astrology blog on a couple of Facebook websites, one of which is called Cosmic Reflections, and the other one is Radical Astrology. I'm a 13 sign sidereal true constellational astrologer. I am a practicing witch for over 30 years. Um, and I am a continually learning person in both of those, but it's still so fun to share the knowledge and share the process of learning along the way. Um, I have
Yay!
a number of offerings on the website if you want to check out some more about what I do in both from an astrological and an esoteric perspective. My holistic medicine comes from helping you connect with your spirit and the planet and your higher self, and just helping us to connect with things that are greater than ourselves and therefore learn more about ourselves and how that all works. So that's my jam.
Yes,
Venus-13.com.
and I can attest to the fact that my dear friend has done a sacred writing for me connected to astrology. So I will vouch for that.
You want
Anyway,
to know what sacred writing is? Ask me.
I'll tell you,
It's kind of my favorite thing, a top secret thing, but sacred writing is a
it's
thing.
awesome. It's awesome. I attest to it.
Thank
But
you.
what shall we tell the folks about the stars today? You got a bit of homework for
Okay.
us? Let's bring it.
Okay, so we are calling this episode Full Moon in Pisces with a side of eclipse. Because because I just can't get my head around that this is I mean, it's not enough of an eclipse to be anything. I know that everybody and his cat is talking about how this eclipse is huge and this is an eclipse and the eclipse energy is strong, but we're so far out of orb with the nodes. So what makes it Julie, tell people what makes an eclipse
Well, the biggest
before
thing,
I rant.
I was going to get my little drawing pen here. So we've got, whoops, we've got the moon sitting up here,
Hmm.
and I'm not the best drawer in the world, but you get the gist. The moon is right here. You got Neptune in the middle, and you've got the north node, the node of the moon. And I'm not going to belabor the details, but for those who don't know, it's a connection point between the orbit of the moon around the Earth and the Earth around the sun. It's where their orbits cross each other. So you have a north node and a south node. They're always opposite each other just because of the way it's a marking point, if you will. It's not an actual body. But in an eclipse, you have the moon pretty much right on top of the node. And different astrologers practice different orbs of connection. So, in other words, distance apart from each other. And I ascribe to the fact that it's got to be no more than 10 degrees apart,
Yeah.
no more than. And that's pushing it. So, if I clear these drawings, you can see that it's 6 degrees. Whoops, you can't see now because I drew over it, but it's 6 degrees and 17 degrees. Okay, so right there, that's 11 degrees.
Yeah.
So even if you were going to stretch that distance to say that it truly is an eclipse season, it's really, really, I mean, barely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a side of eclipse, I totally agree. When you
With
came up with that, I was like, oh yeah, I like that.
with the side of eclipse. The nodes are literally the places where eclipse happen.
Yep.
When when either a sun moon opposition or sun moon conjunction are on top of them. Those are the points where the eclipses would happen. And, according to the chart and according to every sky mapping program I've been looking at, there's just no contact. It just nowhere on the planet does this get within orb of an actual eclipse. Some places might have a little shadow of the sun crossing the moon at some point, but mostly most of us are just going to see a bit of a darkening
Yep.
of the moon.
Yep.
And so that counts in a way, but it is nowhere near the Sturm und Drang of the great Pisces eclipse that happened in April, right? This is
Right.
this is not like, we are absolutely going to see this. So I'm like, I want to tone down the talk about the eclipse, because I do not feel that those energies are just that
Yeah.
eclipse energies are just going to be coming in strong. What are eclipse energies? Typically, um, sort of time stopping and turning point.
Yes. Yes.
So time stopping and turn when there's a big change in the trajectory of things.
Hmm.
This, I think, is just a bit of a
A whiff.
yeah, a veer, a whiff. Mhm.
Yeah.
So
It's not a, how would we put it? It's not a full on, hang on, crossing over you here, get out of the way, covering over. I mean, and I'm using very simple terms, but that's kind of the gist. It eclipses the energy. It kind of creates
yes,
a break in the path of that energetic connection.
a break in the path. Exactly.
Yep.
Beautifully put, Julie. If anything, this feels a little bit more like a closing, because eclipses always come in like 6 month pairs,
Yep.
right? So if we opened something with the April eclipses, we're closing it now with the September.
Right. Right.
That is more how it feels to me. And what did we open with that Pisces eclipse? Well, that was what we sort of talked about as the beginning of a new journey, right? An initiation of some very new energies, which is not to say that, there are no new energies coming on now because we've closed the cycle, but it's almost as if that initiation phase is moving into a implementation phase, right?
Yeah.
Like the huge that was coming in has come in, and now we're taking it forward.
Hmm.
Now we're at step 2. We may have moved from like fool to magician if you're doing the tarot thing.
Well, and what's interesting to me is as I'm looking up here again, the moon is right here, my beautiful arrow. And
It's
look
a
at what you've
pretty
got.
arrow.
I mean, and I know the nodes, the retrograde, I'm not going to talk about the retrograde with the nodes, but you look at all the stuff up here by the moon, or at least in that kind of chunk of the chart, that's in retrograde. Everything is like on
Yeah.
pause up there. Everything is like,
Yes.
it's like a closure.
Yes.
So it's really interesting that that's where
Well,
the energy is, right?
yeah. And it's all inward looking. It's all very
Yes.
yin, right? It's all
Pisces.
very, yeah, it's all very Pisces. I mean, this is closer to Neptune than it is to the North Node, right? So really it's a full moon conjunct Neptune. Now we're talking. I almost think that if people are feeling the strange, I think they're getting Neptuned a little more than they're getting eclipsed.
Especially with Neptune in retrograde. Here's
Yes.
your pause, right? It's like,
Yes.
okay, wait a minute. And I
Yeah.
was going to say that earlier with Neptune in between the moon and the node. Yeah, there's that break of energy, but it's not a full-on eclipse. Neptune kind of brings in a little bit of static in that energy between them, right? It's
Exactly.
interesting.
Exactly.
So pray tell, my friend, what else do we think about the whole idea of we've got the sun that just barely moved into Virgo? Now, again, people, if you're not familiar with the fact that we're looking at the sky, The sun did just move into Virgo, 2 degrees. 2 degrees.
Yep. Yep. He's only just in Virgo.
Yep.
Okay. So about that, I mean, the our eyes are going to be on the moon, obviously, because full moons attract your attention. Yay.
Hmm?
That's about the only thing we're going to be seeing clearly with this because it's in Pisces next to Neptune and everything's retrograde, right? So it's all inner. It's all inner work. It's all inner alchemy. So the moon, if anything, isn't really going to be illuminating anything clearly, but it is going to be signaling that the inner alchemy is happening. And as I say this, sort of the moving from the Fool card phase to the Magician card phase of this cycle is sort of apt.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of apt because now we're kind of learning that inner alchemy, learning how to take all of our tools and play with them. And we can't see. So the work that's happening, the alchemy that's happening, the change that's happening, the action is going on behind the scenes, behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
We can't see it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we kind of have to deal with the fact that we can't see it, even though it's a full moon. So I think the we will know that stuff is going on behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the best that we can kind of hope for right now. Meanwhile, over in the stars of Virgo, you've got active action taken on self improvement. So, in as much as Virgo talks about this, the self, the body, the physical improvement, the personal, and Pisces opposite asks us to think about, be aware of the collective, speaks of um, things that are greater than self, right? Selflessness, a greater other. We can't see what's going on with that, but we can focus on what's going on with ourselves.
It was interesting when you were talking about the fool to the magician. What dawned on me in that regard was the fact that the new moon was in Leo, and because the sun was still in Leo. So that's kind of the playful, the fool just taking all the risk, having all the fun, being passionate. Look at me, look at me, look at me as I take the jump off the cliff. And now that the sun has moved into the stars of improvement and refinement and discernment and all that, that's where that I love that alchemy and the elixir process, getting into the magician. And
Yeah.
some of it is, and if you look at the magician card, so above, so below,
Yep.
if you
Yep.
look at Rider Waite, the traditional card. So there's that alchemy between the two. And it's going to call to us. And
Hmm.
that sun's energy, as it moves further and further into Virgo, there's going to be a drive toward that. You're
Yeah.
going to feel compelled to do it. But the moon is going to ask us to go within first, then answer the call.
Hmm. I completely agree. To go within first, and again, accept that the change is happening within, but we cannot see it.
Yeah.
We cannot see what's happening behind that curtain. So it actually, while on the one hand, it's a great time to to put effort behind self-improvement, it is not a great time to initiate big plans.
Not yet.
Not really yet. It's
Right.
a better time to, okay, I know that I need a haircut. Get a haircut. You know what I mean? I know that um I need to take small steps to improve my physical and spiritual well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Small steps. But what I don't want to do necessarily with a full moon in Pisces in retrograde Wonderland is try to start anything of anything that would involve a contract, anything
Yes.
that would involve a solid, hard plan. I'm just going to take a step in a direction. Okay, now what's my next step? Okay. Yeah, and I think that's about all we can ask for right now.
Well, and with the sun in Virgo again, part of what Virgo is all about is your daily routine, right? So maybe you're thinking about, well, I don't have a good balance with mind, body, spirit right now, and I really need to do something different, like maybe do more meditation or change my eating habits or get some exercise, all of the things we always talk about in terms of our health. But the whole idea you're going to start something completely different and anew, and you're going to turn your whole life upside down because by God, I'm going to do it. I think the likelihood of success is going to be a lot harder, where it's like, you know what? I'm going to take 5 extra minutes in the morning and just sit quietly and be with my thoughts just for a moment, just a little
Mhm.
meditation, something small, something
Yeah.
little, and it's a go within little, right? And there was another thing we talked about as far as how we can help improve our health. What was with our Piscean
Well,
fires?
yes, a big thing that comes up when you have a full moon in Pisces with Neptune, water, water everywhere, is literally water, water everywhere, is how hydration, the importance of hydration to your physical well-being. And, the lesson of water. There's a water lesson that goes along with the well-being of spirit,
Yep,
and there's the importance of hydration to your physical body. It's because the sun's in Virgo, we're going to talk about stuff that is good for your physical body,
yep.
right? So the spirit and the soul journey are being worked on, and we're going to kind of let that be worked on. But the sun is on our physical body, so we're going to talk about water and hydration.
And our little disclaimer, we are not practitioners in a way where we're giving you health advice or medical advice. So whatever you choose to take from this for your own use, please consult your own healthcare practitioners. And we in no way construe this as treatment or advice or anything like that. Disclaimer, done.
Yeah, it is
Heading,
true.
yes. So as somebody who lives in the desert, hydration is a huge thing here. Very huge. And oftentimes it's not just as simple as go get a glass of water. So,
Right.
and it go back to the alchemy. So it's a beautiful word that you use. The alchemy comes in several ways, but one way for me is what does my body want now? And then going inside to just listen for a moment. Do I need electrolytes? Do I need a juice? Do I need lemon in my water? Do I need a tea? Do I need, something brewed? Whatever it is, asking our bodies what we need rather than just grabbing what's in the fridge,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know,
So it electrolytes.
oh, I can speak on those.
I was just gonna say, Julie, what are electrolytes exactly, and why are they important? First of all, what are they?
What are they? So they're mineral compounds. So it's sodium, magnesium, and potassium. Those are your big three. And those things are necessary for when you take, and I learned a lot about this. When you drink water, it's one thing to drink it all and then urinate it out. It's gone. But did it really get into your cells and hydrate you systemically? So you need these minerals to get the hydration into the cells so the body can actually use it, right? And the other thing that dawned on me too is another way that this moon energy may come in is not only going within and connecting to your intuitive self about what do I really need. The other thing is what can you use in a way that shows you can change the structure of water by the nature of your spiritual actions or thoughts, right? God, what was the guy's name? Emoto, I think, was the one that spoke.
Massaro?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that spoke to the waters and found different crystalline structures. Our bodies are 70% water.
Yeah,
So when we don't talk too nicely to our bodies, or we don't behave in a way that brings a beautiful energy in, no matter what you put in through the mouth in terms of drinking something, maybe think about what you bring to the water or the hydration. And I see that as also as an electrolyte of sorts, right? It's like you're crystallizing things in a way that the body can just truly take it in.
exactly. Yes, in a way that alchemizes the water so that it absorbs into your body better.
Yes. Yes,
That's electrolyte.
absolutely.
So yeah, we talk about, drinking water and staying hydrated. it doesn't necessarily always have to be just water, but it does have to have electrolytes. It does have to have, something that gets into your body.
Yep.
And you can consult any medical professional, any naturopath, any sort of, professional health and well-being
Advisor.
advisor
Hmm.
about what is an electrolyte. How does water get absorbed into your body? And I recommend you do that because it's not all just about drinking water, drinking water, drinking water. Just having that water bottle with you all day doesn't necessarily do it because it can, again, not a doctor, okay, but too much water can dilute your electrolytes. You
Yes.
have to, you can't drink just water. Especially, I will say this from my experience with elderly people, including my mother, especially if you are a sedentary person. The
Yep.
more sedentary you are, the more electrolytes you're going to need because you're not moving your body around
Right.
or naturally. So the water is going to need the fluid is going to need some help getting around your body. A lot of elderly people are dehydrated even though they're drinking water
Yep. Yep.
because it goes right through them,
Yep.
right? It just goes right through. It's not getting anywhere. Why? Because you're not moving your body around and it doesn't have enough electrolytes to absorb. So
Well,
again,
go ahead.
please check this with a medical professional,
Yes.
not a doctor.
Yes.
But
Yes. And again, I can totally attest to it. I didn't live in the desert until just 3.5, almost 4 years ago. So it was a big adjustment for me to learn how to hydrate in a way that my body was actually taking it in.
right,
Because I'd be constantly thirsty with the lack of humidity here, and I'd be drinking, 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 and then out it goes. And you actually are, in essence, at risk. Again, not legal advice, I mean, medical advice. You're actually at risk of flushing out what's already in your body too, because you filter it
yeah,
out, carry it out, right? It doesn't have hasn't had the chance to be
yes,
absorbed. So really think about that. And then this is the other time where I would also suggest when we're talking about hydration, think about what you're actually putting into your body that is not so great for you. Is it a bunch of junk? Is it a bunch of artificial stuff? Is it a bunch of, I mean, I'm not going to judge, you all just do your thing, but when you pick up that can of sugary stuff, think about it for a second. Is this something that I really, really want? Is it really something my body wants? Is it something that's going to be honoring my temple? And do your thing,
yeah.
but maybe take that moment to step back.
Yeah,
Okay.
and yes, and to be honest, it may
Right.
be that
It
that
may.
bowl of sugar is exactly what you need right now, and live it up, right?
Yep.
Because there really is no one prescribed perfect diet for every
Right.
human being.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. So just like, people say you need to be drinking these many glasses of water a day. Maybe not.
Right.
Maybe not. So just going by that rote formula may in fact be doing your body some more harm than good.
And I was thinking about too, the where your natal moon is may help you with that too, right?
Ooh, expand on that. That sounds exciting.
Well, so again, Taurus moon here.
Oh, yeah.
Taurus has a lot to do with, your five senses. It also has a lot to do with the ground, gardening, being out in the dirt, and all of that. So for me, I'm actually discovering that there's a like beet juice, root carrot juice, juices that are root based, root vegetable based,
Okay.
are of benefit. So maybe that's another way to think about it. What might be something that my natal moon can help me discover that would be really good for me, right? So, maybe the Aries person needs some liquid that has some fire in it, a little bit of spice to it. Like a tomato juice with a spicy added to it, or a seasoning that just gives it a little kick. And to me that sounds absolutely hideous, but to other people, I know people that like Bloody Marys that have a little spice to them, right? So there's that.
Hmm.
Gemini, the air sign, that might be a little bit tougher. What do you think might be something smoky? Something that has a little bit of a smoky flavor like air, smoke.
Goodness. Um, Sorry, this has just got me really flat-footed.
I know,
What sort of waters would Geminis like? Tea?
mm,
Probably certain types of teas
ah,
that 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 steep
that makes sense.
and are brewed.
Okay. And maybe approach it with a bit of curiosity. Huh,
That's it.
I've never had this tea before. Maybe I will try it. Let me see what it
That's
does.
yeah, that's it. I mean, it
Yep,
may be that Gemini moons are so I need a different drink for everything that I eat,
yep.
kind of thing. Why the hell not? Libra moons, I am here to tell you, like to have red wine. So that's their.
We haven't gotten to Libra yet. You'll expand on
Well,
that.
I'm just jumping ahead, because it is also true that at least for my body, a little bit of fermented grape product helps with
Balance
digestion.
and balance. Libra,
And yeah,
that's your balance, right?
that's that's my balance. It helps with some digestion. It helps with enzymes and getting things moved through. I take a very French look at the red wine, which is not, this is going to make me sound like I'm a complete alcoholic and I'm drinking bottles of wine every night. Not really. Um, but I have noticed that with you know certain meals, a little bit of don't be afraid of alcohol. Don't be afraid of fermented things.
Oh,
Come on,
yeah.
people.
And
We've
in,
been drinking them for a while.
and in fact, the beet juice I've been drinking is fermented. It's called
Yes.
Kvass, Kvass, and it's awesome stuff. And it does. It's really good for digestion. In fact, in Italy, they drink what are called digestivos, where they have either a little grappa or a little bit of amaretto or something like
Uh-huh.
that after
Uh-huh.
dinner to help things just digest after a full meal. So,
Yes. Yeah.
cancer, what came to me is make something homemade.
Isn't that funny? The first thing that came to me with cancer was tomato juice. I don't know why.
Oh, isn't that funny? Huh, that's interesting.
I have no idea why. Cancer, tomato juice. Okay.
Interesting. Well, if it comes to you, but I was thinking like juicing, like you're doing it yourself instead of going to the store and buying it off the shelf. You're making it because the cancer sign
I,
or constellation is the home,
mhm.
homemade.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That could be it.
Leo, go to your favorite childhood drink. Were you the
Yeah.
kid on the corner with the lemonade stand?
I was just saying like apple juice. Like Leo is a big apple juice kind of kid,
Yep,
right?
yep,
Lemonade, apple juice,
yep.
anything like that.
That's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, I had the image of the kid with the lemonade stand too.
Mhm.
Yep. Virgo, you're going to drink what's good for you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, literally, it's like I'm going to tune in. I'm going to take in all my vitamins. I'm going to be the electrolytes person. I'm going to be the one that really makes sure, and it's going to be a part of your routine.
Virgo moon.
Yep, yep.
Hmm.
We talked about Libra, that
Yep.
balance, and you know what? Going to the alcoholic drinks too, and you do it in balance.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. I like to think that Libra moons are almost sort of the least susceptible to addiction in that way
Mhm.
because you can keep a balance. You just know when to quit.
Yeah, yeah. And again, if you're somebody who can't have it, then just look at fermented things,
Yeah.
something that puts, or even the electrolytes might be a good way to look at that too. That puts things back into balance.
But I also think that it's more important. I shouldn't say that. Particularly important for Libras to be aware of that. I think they're going to feel imbalance more keenly
Yeah,
than other signs. I mean, I know I do.
yeah.
I know I do feel that little imbalance. So, but if there are Libra moons are hard, and we talk about that. It's hard to have a Libra moon. But if there is one huge benefit, it's that knowing when to quit factor.
Yeah.
And and I do believe that that's it. So, ha, there's a good thing after all.
Scorpios, you're going to do what's decadent.
I was gonna say chocolate.
Uh-huh. You're going
Got-
to do what's decadent.
yeah, I want some hot damn chocolate with whiskey in it, and I'm a coffee drinker.
Or the
Yeah,
aphrodisiac kind of drink, or yeah, it's going to
you
be
betcha.
decadent, it's going to be sensual, it's going to be just that,
Pretty.
mm,
Yeah.
that, and it's going to just bring it all home for you. So, a fucus, what comes to my mind, it's so funny because I was just on a little overnighter with a friend at one of the local resort hotels.
Uh-huh.
And, they have all these nice little hotels now have these, spas and fitness centers and all that, and they have their little menu. Those health and wellness shots, do the little booster
Yes.
shot where you add
I
in
was
the electrolytes or whatever. You're the fucus, you're the one that's going to do that.
I was gonna say, like, kombucha with eye of newt. You're
Yes.
gonna have all of it. You're gonna drink potions. You're
Yep.
not gonna, yeah, whatever. Potions, a poison, you betcha.
Yep. Yep.
You
You're going to be
go,
the one that
Fucus
does that
man.
wellness shot or the wheatgrass
That's it. That's
shots.
it.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
All about that.
Uh-huh.
And not only that, you'll also offer it to others. Because you're the
Hmm.
medicine man, the medicine woman. You're the one that's like, hey, friend, I've got this wonderful elixir here. It tastes like crap, but you want to try it? It's really good for you.
It's the best thing for you. Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah. And with all the good intentions. But Sagittarius, I have two words: adventurous, trying something new, or something that has some sort of ethnic connection.
That's it. I feel like, whatever Sagittarius drinks is going to have an umbrella in it, served in a pineapple.
Or
It's
like a
got to have flair.
cultural, yeah, a cultural drink, whatever it is in that land that you've got that adventurous bone that's just itching to get out there. You're going to try that beverage. You're going to use that process or use that drink to hydrate. You're so curious. What do these people drink? What is their favorite drink? What is their country's go-to, right? Turkish
Where
coffee or opa, the ouzo in Greece.
Uzo, oh God.
I
I
know,
have an
not
Uzo
my
story.
favorite, but
Oh,
it's going to be
oh,
something. Thai iced tea, the Vietnamese coffee. You're going to connect to these different beverages that these different cultures do as their traditional drink. So,
mhm.
and it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So, take your Leo friend with you.
That's it. And he's just have a ball.
Capricorn,
Capricorn,
what do you think? I have a thought.
water. Think water. Just just give me a glass of water, maybe a slice of lemon, some weak tea.
I
I
have
just need to be hydrated. I don't need to enjoy myself too much. I'm just drinking because I gotta.
Well, yes, and so the yes on the water, there's a kind of a new old thing going around about structured water. Like the water has a certain structure, and if you get structured water, it has certain components within it. So I just immediately thought of structured water. So you Capricorn moons that don't know anything about that, go look that up. The other thing is, whatever they have, it will have to have a recipe. Step one, do this: build the beverage, right? That was the other thing that came to my mind. Build the beverage. Or it'll be layered, sort of like a B-52, where you layer the Grand Marnier and the Baileys and the Kahlua, or it'll be something like that. It'll be very structured, right?
Yeah, the foam on the cappuccino has to be exactly this thick with the yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm going to do it all myself, and I'm not going to enjoy it. So,
That's kind of it. Yeah, I'm not in here for pleasure. I drink to hydrate because I have to. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just, give me the water with the right amount of vitamins in it, and that's what I care about. I do feel like Capricorn will want to have mineral water. Like more likely to have mineral water than
yeah,
overly filtered.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Like Perrier or the electrolytes added, whatever it happens to be. Yep.
That's just it. Yeah, but they're not going to want, pure clean mountain spring water necessarily. I think they're going to want just tap water's good. Just
Yeah,
Get it in me.
yeah. And that's not to be disparaging to Capricorn
Oh,
moons. Bless your sweet little hearts. It's like you're just about taking care of the responsibility. Just get her done.
yeah, it like I don't need an umbrella in it. It doesn't need to be, served in a pineapple or in a gilded glass. That would just get it in me
Yep.
and I'm good.
Aquarius.
See, now I feel like Aquarius would want, I want the purest water from the cleanest mountain spring from the highest peaks of Tibet, right? They're going to want the most godly, pure water that ever was on the planet.
Ethically sustained.
Yeah.
That's just what came to me. Yep.
Yep. Yep. Ethically, ethically collected and sustainable.
Yep. Yep. And it may have a bit of an electric charge to it, you know. I just, yeah, charge up that water. So Pisces, oh lordy, I think the Pisces moon people are the ones that do the ritual tea. It's
Yeah,
the meditation tea. They read the tea leaves first.
absolutely.
Yep.
They're praying over and they're thinking about everything that goes in before it. Yeah.
And it's got a spiritual component to it. It might be, you meditate over it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all, yeah,
Now this is Pisces moon, mine, not
yes,
Pisces sun.
yes.
Pisces
These
moon.
are all moons, people. The emotional connection to this, right? What's good for
Yeah.
the soul.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, these are the different ways you can do it. And if that resonates, great. Try it. See what you think. If you've never, this is a good opportunity to change your routine a little bit.
Exactly.
In
See, yeah.
Virgo.
See, and the thing about the Virgo Pisces axis when it comes to routines is that routines are good because it frees your mind up to consider more things. If I've got to be thinking about every step of my day, every step of my, all right, I've awakened, my eyes are open. What do I need to do now? Put my feet on the ground. All right, my feet are on the ground. Now what? If
Right.
I develop routines so that I free up my mind for other things.
Yep.
And that's that Pisces Virgo axis. The Pisces wants us to sort of, Virgo wants us to get into routine so that we can get into a more spiritual frame of mind, so that we can be open to what's going on around us. So that's sort of the good part of the routines that Virgo help us develop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we were talking earlier, and I think we've talked about this before, is the Virgo Pisces axis is one of the most complex axes in the chart in terms of looking at the
Yeah.
polarity because they are so incredibly different. And I personally, this is one of the ways that I encourage people who are not familiar with constellational astrology to really think about the fact that Virgo and Pisces are the biggest two constellations, and they're the bridges. Virgo bridges all the constellations that are about the self, Aries through Leo, getting you ready to go out and to be in the world with other. Service to self, service to other, fine tune, improve, create that routine so you can be with other. That's all Virgoing. And look
Mhm.
at how big the Virgo stars are. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a huge, because it gives you plenty of opportunity to get her done, right?
Well, Pisces ain't exactly small either on the
Well, and I
opposite
was
end.
just going into that, right? So
Yeah.
then the Libra to the Aquarius is you're out in the world, you're with other, you've now developed self, now you're ready to interact and be with other. But when you've completed that circuit in the world, you're getting ready to return back through the stars, the bridge of Pisces, to the fact that we are all one, we are all sparks of the divine, and then we start over as the individual.
Mhm.
It's no wonder these two, this is why the supreme being, creator of all that is, God, spirit, source, whatever words resonate with you, made the stars the way they are. I really believe that. And that's one of my soapboxes about this is why constellation is important.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sing it.
yeah. And they're so opposite. As you were saying, Marie, you could see, how Taurus and Libra have a blend of, I mean, not Taurus and Libra, Taurus and Scorpio. You can see the relationship between them,
You
how they're
almost can, yeah.
polarized.
Sag and Gemini, definitely you can
That's,
see that really.
yep,
Even Leo and Aquarius, you can
yeah,
kind of see. But Virgo and Pisces are so opposite. You almost can't, like, how are these connected at all? And the answer is that's because they're so opposite. Because this is the point in the chart where the left hand can where everything is the most polarized.
yep,
Sound familiar?
yep,
Right?
yep.
And so here we are with the collective nodal axis of the planet in the section of the chart where things are what?
The most,
Most polarized.
yep, yep,
Saying,
yep.
just saying.
There's no coincidence in all that, right?
No, there is none. There is none.
Before we take off here, do you want to touch a little teeny bit on the series Mars axis?
Yeah, we could just because it's in T square to this. So along with this, I'm sorry, full moon in Pisces Virgo, right? The opposition. We've got square to that Ceres and Mars in the Sagittarius Gemini opposition. So we've been going over this a little bit. Ceres has a connection to Virgo, I feel, in that it's she's a harvester of grain. She's a grain goddess. She's a lunar goddess, yes, but she's also about the harvest and the cycles of nature and understanding what it takes for things to grow
Look at her shape.
and
What does it
when they
remind
need
you
to
of?
pardon me.
What does her shape remind you of?
Yeah, her shape is a sacred sickle, right? The
A
knife that
harvester.
is used in ceremonial harvesting,
Yep.
or it used to be used in everyday harvesting, but mostly now we think of it as ceremonial harvesting. So she does have a relationship to Virgo. Mars, of course, being the planet of action in Gemini. So following that curiosity, following those thoughts, those ideas, Ceres questioning though our deeply held beliefs
Axe.
and and kind of signaling what is ready to harvest, right? And say, okay, we're ready to cut this out. Ready to cut it out now. Like literally, cut it out is a great way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's something that we need to harvest the benefit from and then let go back into the earth for the next cycle. And
And
it's in,
I was going to say, in that the full moon axis is kind of a part of all of that, right? If you're doing the things
yeah,
to take care of yourself and to hydrate and really tune into what this moon sun axis is asking of you, then you can find that ability to harvest in a way that is just so much more fulfilling. And the challenge is in the
yeah.
square.
Well, and I think that the square also speaks to really the healthy body, healthy mind component.
Yes,
You know, that if that when you get them both healthy, sometimes you got to get your mind right before you get your body right, but sometimes you have to get your body right before your mind can function
right.
well. And with Pisces, with so much happening in Pisces and in retrograde, our minds are going to have a bit of a challenge. So focus on your body, focus on that feedback that I don't think we're going to be doing a lot of deep thinking. I think that we're going to be doing a lot of deep sensing.
And Mars is going to bring a little bit of a challenge to that because he's in the curiosity stars. The, oh, I found the answer too, and I'm just going to run and do it. No,
Yeah.
slow down, slow down. Or that you feel like you have to go get all the answers too. That's the other thing.
Yes.
It's like, no,
Yes.
no, slow down, slow down. Just go do a little research. It's okay. Or talk to somebody about it. Gemini is also about communicating, trading ideas.
Mhm.
Hey, Maria, I've been thinking about doing some beet juice. I'm a Taurus moon. What do you think?
And frankly, I think that trading ideas right now and exploring different ideas and questioning it is exactly what we need to do because again, it's we're not going to be seeing things very clearly. We're not going to feel like, all right, I have the answers. I'm going to feel like I'm trying to find them. I'm going to feel like I'm curious about things. I'm going to feel like, ooh, this new thing happened. Ooh, I just had this idea. You know,
right?
what do you think? So yeah, the conversations. Virgo is also about conversations.
Yeah.
Really because we're discovering other people. We're starting to share knowledge
Hmm.
with Virgo can be very much a sharing knowledge kind of sign. And there's about to be a major stellium there. We're going to have Venus, the sun, and Mercury there in not too short a time at all, not to mention Lilith Black Moon,
Yeah.
and Juno, our favorite asteroids. So yeah, there's going to be an astrological conversation in Virgo very soon.
Very busy, very busy. And right now, Mercury supports in Leo. Just go tell everybody about what you're learning, right?
Yes.
It's like, I gotta tell, guess what, and be playful, have some fun with it, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I see Mercury as the kid that loves to sing about it all,
Oh,
right?
for sure. Well, I
Mercury and
mean,
Leo, I should say.
we just illustrated that right now tonight, you and I.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys don't even know. We had not planned to go through to talk about what each moon sign would like to drink was not on our list of what we were going to talk about. Suddenly it's like, hey,
Let's play with it. See what
let's
happens.
do
Let's
that.
play
Yeah.
with it. That's the Leo. Let's see what
Yeah.
we learned. That's the Mercury. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right.
And in Gemini.
And
Oops.
any parting words before we take off here? I'll upload. Obviously, if you're seeing this, you're going to see it on replay, but we'll get it out there in all of our various places. And if you catch it toward the end of the full moon, you know that's okay. The energy's still there for a few days.
How do I sum this up? My takeaways from this are very much it's a time to consider new ideas,
Hmm.
to not make hard plans, but to experiment a little, take one step at a time, hydrate, and look after your body.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna shift into some very mental energy in not too short a time. So anyway,
Yeah,
is
I
my 3 cents.
totally concur with that. Because again, Virgo season's a long season constellationally. Look at the sky, you know. So
Yes.
it's an opportunity to really spend that time and hone in on it, tweak it, fine tune it. By the time the sun is through all of the Virgo stars, this should be you should have a nice feel for a nice new routine as we get ready for winter in the northern hemisphere, summer in the southern hemisphere. You can hibernate on it a little bit, let your body percolate on it a bit, and just see what comes. So. All right, my dear friend, I think we will stop the recording here. We wish everybody a wonderful full moon with a side of eclipse. Go back to the beginning if you don't understand what that
That's
is.
it. That's a full moon at the side of eclipse.
Yes, and be kind to everybody. Just have an open heart. I think that moon also helps remind us be that string in the middle, start from the place of commonality and the fact that we are all one in some way
Yeah.
from there. So
I want to throw it just before you do.
please do.
Just once again, the side of eclipse. That there's just take it easy because I don't think there's any huge major whammy coming with this.
Right.
This is just a time to really take it easy. Take it
Mhm.
easy. All you got to do.
Yeah. All right. And on that note, we will say adieu until we come to episode number 17. And again, venus-13.com for Maria. If you want to contact her to find out about her sacred writings, her Patreon, her daily diva work, all of that wonderful stuff that she does, you can hit her up there. And I'm yourbesthopeswc.com, Your Best Hopes Wellness Coaching. Both of us have options to connect to us if you want to, and we'd love to connect. So Thank you, everybody.